Good day, and welcome to Far Reaches. We are four people from similar parts of the world who have wound up chasing different dreams and living different lives. We are Richard, Raleigh, Joel, and Micah. Richard and Micah are from Southeast Oregon, from two small ranching communities known as Pine Creek and Plush. Raleigh and Joel are from Northeast Oregon, from the Pendleton area. We met through college, mutual friends, and heard of stories of each other. Somehow wound up being at the same place at the same time. See, we live and work in different parts of the U.S. now and have all taken different paths to get to where we are. We all talk separately and live far apart. So we decided we should try and talk more together. We hope you come along and enjoy. Hey, hi your mom and then welcome once again to all the excitement that is indeed the Far Reaches podcast. This week and every week, we're brought to you by our super good friends at B&K Auto Salvage. B&K Auto Salvage in the beautiful Grand Ronde Valley. That's south of La Grande and beautiful downtown historic Baker City. So that's right. Use promo code Reacher. That's right. It's still working on right now. So they got over 1,200 used cars and vehicles in stock and a large selection of 4x4 parts. So if you tore something up this summer or you started it up today and it doesn't run like it should, give them a haul. They might have what you're looking for. So promo code Reacher, that's a discount on your pull parts and a little bump on your scrap. Like if you really can't get it started, call them and just scrap it anyways. Either way, you're going to come out a winner when you work with B&K Auto Salvage. So right now on the screen, you can see two Reachers. We have a couple more inbound in a certain point in the show, but we're going to hammer down because that's what we do. I am Micah. That is Richard. He is driving in the middle of the desert somewhere out on the home place, but we thought we'd kick her off live. And of course, since we're starting the very beginning of the Far Reachers podcast, how we start that off every week with what we call the Reach Around. So Richard, since you're driving around, do you feel like kicking it off with the Reach Around, which is our nice little way of saying our weekly update?
Well, yeah, I'd be happy to.
Well, outstanding.
And for those of you that are worried about my personal safety, I'm on the private roads of the mighty MC Ranch, and I will not leave them today. So, yeah, get over it.
So, in case you're wondering what the hell that means, is you will see if you're watching the video version that occasionally a bottle of the brown color, some sort of beverage, will appear on the screen every once in a while. It's root beer.
Ginger beer. Yeah.
Up here. And so Richard just wanted to clarify, nobody should freak out. He's out in the middle of the ranch, in the middle of nowhere on a private road. Worst thing he's going to do is maybe run over a fence post that probably needs to be replaced anyways. So that being said, hit it. Let her rip, Tater Chip.
It's raining. So we're super happy
Hallelujah.
about that. Yes, hallelujah. It's got, in the grand scheme of things, does it make a difference? No. Today doesn't make a difference? Yes. Makes me very happy. So anyway, my reach around, I spent last week at the Carbon Summit, which is partly the reason why we weren't able to come to you last week. Tied up. And Rawls is probably neck deep in hand. So
yes.
Yeah, summer gets a little bit hectic, except for when it's not.
Which is rare.
So anyway, yeah. So I'm enjoying a nice evening in Adel. I just realized that I could come out here and stay if we don't have anybody in the Airbnb, and run around like a madman trying to get back to do the Far Reaches podcast. So the Carbon Summit was super awesome. It was really sort of surreal because most of the attendants were online. I went in person, and I thought there'd be like a couple hundred people there in person, but no, there was like, I think at the peak of it, there was 3,000 people online. So it's just really weird to go to an event where you're planning on doing. I did some great networking. It was more quality probably than an event that has bigger people, because I mostly had like 100% access to the people that were speaking.
I was gonna say it's basically the people that were on the agenda and you.
yeah. So yeah, and it was. I have to say, if you want to go back and listen to the Ranch podcast, I had a great conversation with Jason Mora.
Oh yeah.
And met all his family. They came out and forced to help him out, and super looking. I think that this is. I think it was successful enough that we'll have the one in Albuquerque, or I don't want to break anything here. We could possibly be going to Fresno to have I use we pretty liberally, but we could possibly be going to Fresno instead of Albuquerque so that we can have a larger impact on the conversation in agriculture.
And for those of you that don't know, Jason was actually the person that helped kind of spearhead and host this. So Richard had him on his Ranch and Raid podcast, which is outstanding. So I was very impressed seeing Jason. I watched it online from my humble abode in Florida, and it was an amazing, amazing conference.
Yeah, and then on to the Hague in about a little over a year. So I'm planning on getting all passport up and doing all three. So that'll be exciting. I've never been to the Netherlands. I have a cousin that has a company that works out of there. So check off a few boxes. But yeah, we're super happy that I went to Idaho and hung out, and I had an amazing conversation with some guys that do a biodigester that processes waste and from processing plants and farm waste, and basically create zero emissions, zero waste. So they can take an animal and break it down, and carbon credits, just this crazy thing. And so I saw a future of agriculture where there is no waste and no emissions, other than like the ones that happen on my ranch, but like the whole processing plant would be waste free, and then all this stuff can get, whether it's a crop or it's a animal byproduct that they can't market, it all can go in this biodigester. It can create energy like natural gas, and then it can be further broke down into a fiber that can be put onto crops. And not many people know this, but synthetic nitrogen is one of the most harmful things that you can do with soil. And it has weakened our natural or organic nitrogen cycle, which we should be talking about as much as carbon. But I think we're going to get there eventually. Water and organic nitrogen are two of the most underappreciated components of soil health. And this would put it's not quite organic nitrogen, but it's super close to organic nitrogen. And if we could use the waste off of crops and off of the animal processing and feedlots and all this kind of stuff to create organic nitrogen, it would be huge to be able to do that. And it would create another line of revenue. This is basically like if this biodigester industry can get off, it's basically a monopoly. It's something that's never been done, which is like, it's what any business person wants to achieve. They want to open up a space, a brand new industry, like what Zuckerberg did with Facebook or something. So super exciting to sit in an office in Boise and have to tell the guy that he has lost me. The guy I was talking to was so super intelligent and just, I had to take a deep breath. I couldn't keep up with the guy. He took the time to do it, put it all on the whiteboard for me. I get the basic concepts, but all I understand is I'm a mental midget compared to what he's trying to accomplish. And it's a golden new future, and I hope that he gets traction. It was just, I cannot put into words how blown away I was. And we disparage over the future, but there's really smart people out there trying to create a better one. Show us a better path. Yeah. And all we have to do is participate. They'll take us along for the ride. So, just a really fun week. It's always good to get out of the everyday monotony of, and my life is not by any means a monotony, but it's just good to break life up and see some new stuff and experience some new people. And so I regretted every moment that I was driving to Boise, thinking about everything that I could be doing back at home, and just super energized when I was leaving, coming back. So
and all that shit was still there waiting for you. So
it's all still here, and not much in the wheels hadn't fallen off, so it was all right. That was my week.
That's outstanding. I remember one of the very first digesters I saw was in Salem, and Bernie Faber is a longtime dairyman there on Board of Ag, and he had it on his place, and this was 10 or 12 years ago, at least, maybe longer. So it was not very efficient. So it was so cool for me to see how far they've come along in getting that system to work better than it ever has. And like when you say leaps and bounds, that doesn't even cover it remotely, just how much more efficient they are now and predictable and dialed in. I think it's so cool to see that advancement in that, because like you said, the whole point of that whole concept of being basically, neutral with any kind of waste, be it organic matter or whatever you're producing, and finding a way to get that either back into your soil or used as energy in another way. So it's basically like a bunch of little cities that are all energy independent.
Oh, and I have to put a plug in for it, since this is a podcast crowd. If anybody wants a great podcast with a really fun guy, really a guy that's been all and done everything, and check out Whiskeys for Drinking, Waters for Fighting, Marvin Nash. And I won't. He has totally reinvented himself. So I feel I do him a disservice when I talk about his past life, but this guy is he's really he's out there. He's trying to use the latter years of his life to make a huge difference environmentally in agriculture and show people a good path.
Mm-hmm.
So check out Marvin Nash, Whiskeys for Drinking, Waters for Fighting, and support him. Amazing effort. His message at the Carbon Summit was do something, do it right, and do it now.
Do it now.
And I think that sums it up. And I know there's probably a bunch of people rolling their eyes about climate change and everything, but this is the new future of agriculture. And if you don't get on board with it, I think that it's the disruptor that leaves people behind. And you can disregard it all you want, but I think it's the fact of our future, and it's not because of the science or anything, but it's because it's where the market's going to take us.
Well, and if you heard Ray Archuleta's talk or ever heard him speak, and if that doesn't make you just kind of perk up and just think about the practices that we have in place. And for those of you who didn't see that or don't know who the hell Ray is, he worked for NRCS for years and retired. And I don't know at which point in his career he was like, man, I think we're missing the boat. But no matter when that point was, now he has such a great perspective on cover crops in the soil and the impact of bare soil versus ground with a diverse or any kind of cover crop, but more diverse, the better. And just how that impacts global water and the air and everything when you have bare soil versus something with grass and cover on it. And so he led off the climate summit. And after that, I was just like, holy buckets. Like I could listen to that guy talk for hours. And he's kind of he's just kind of middle down the road, but I just like how he presents things and how he thinks. And so, and for him to say like, forever we were telling people the wrong thing, man. Like we weren't looking at the whole picture. And so I think people get gun shy, I think, of that sometimes when you talk about a program or a thought. And, I think back to my natural resource days, and it used to be when we were taught, you got to channel that river, you got to make it straight and deep, and you got to get that water out of here as fast as possible. 15 years later, like, nope, you got to make it meander, you got to make it go natural, you got to slow it down. And so, shit happens. But, I think that goes back to what Marvin was talking about, is like, do something, do it right and do it now. So it's all about the learning. So I didn't mean to turn this into a climate summit talk, but I just really wanted to talk about Ray and what he talked about and the position he put it in. And it's not the, oh my God, your tractor's killing the climate. It's like, just think about the dirt and how it's all connected and how it lives and what that does to everything else, and make it happy, basically, and make some money off it, probably. So.
And everybody's gonna have I call it their 50,000 elephants moment. So Alan Savory, when he was a young range specialist biologist in Africa, Zimbabwe, I think that's where he's from. He actually made a recommendation to kill 50,000 elephants because they thought the elephants eating were overgrazing and causing desertification.
Mm-hmm.
And he was wrong. How would you like to be that massively wrong? And I think that's a lot of what has driven him to preach holistic management, preach about soil health. And I think that we're all much luckier. Most of us probably aren't going to kill off 50,000 elephants to learn our lesson, but I think that Ray had his 50,000 elephant thing when he realized that he'd been telling people to keep fields fallow and that kind of stuff for years instead of keeping good root systems in it. I think that it takes a big person to admit that they might have had bad information and go out and try and set that right.
Absolutely. Mr. Joel, welcome to the show, my good sir. Thanks
for having me.
This is the beverage in hand edition of Far Reaches. So congratulations.
Look what I got. I got this. They do old fashions in a bottle, Maker's Mark.
Oh, outstanding.
Knob Creek. Sorry.
Cut out that middleman of that complex old fashioned. Yeah. I heard the cork when you first came online. That was awesome. Yeah.
Well, it's good you can hear me. I lost my headphones, so hopefully the audio is all right.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah, Lima Charlie. I'm having a really uppity Bloody Mary, and Richard's having some sort of food for beer.
Oh, sorry.
Left
you 2 men down.
We may do for a while. Richard's eating tater salad and looking like a madman. So
driving, podcasting, and eating potato salad.
It's the way of the Bradburg. But not to worry, he's out on the ranch road, so he's not really in public. He's just really gonna put it in circles in the field. He'll probably wake up there tomorrow. All is well.
Most people would be self-conscious about that angle, Richard.
What?
Most people would be self-conscious about being on film at that angle.
Somebody married in our family, and they looked at their firstborn son, and they said, it's going to take generations to breed that double chin out of this family.
That's why I go
Well, good luck with that, you bastards. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we were just having the reach around and Richard was finishing up. So it's perfect timing, Mr. Joel, if you want to jump in and take over with the Dutch rudder and give us your weekly update there, good sir.
Did you guys talk about Dutch rudders?
We did last week. Yeah. Because it was just last time it was just 2 of us. We're like, well, we're going to do the reach around, but it's kind of the Dutch rudder since there's only 2 of us. I don't know what you'd call the third, but anyways, we'll have to come up with a name for that, I suppose.
I just learned what a Dutch rudder was.
I saw it on Zach and Miri Make a Porno is where I saw it at. So
so the girlfriend was in town for the last couple of weeks. We went up to see some friends in Seattle over the weekend. That was a good time. Like I had very low expectations for Seattle. I hadn't been to Seattle really probably since I was like a kid. Like,
so you were like too young to enjoy it, kind of.
Yeah, it's a nice city. I thought it'd be like Portland. It's way better.
It's way better than Portland. Yeah. It's actually somewhere you can go hang out and enjoy yourself. Good culture downtown, I think.
You go see the otters?
No.
Oh.
Where do they keep the otters?
At the aquarium. The otters in the Seattle aquarium are amazing.
I saw we went to Gasworks Park. You can see the aquarium from there.
I thought you said, did you go to the Otter? Like it was some skanky downtown bar. That's what I thought you said. Not, did you go see the Otters? It sounds like a downtown Seattle bar, the Otter.
There is the Kells bar is in the alley in Seattle, next to the big private drag queen venue.
Kells?
Yeah, we walked by Kells. It's down like an alley.
Yeah.
It's by Pike Place Market.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I like that area. Cool.
We had a good time up there. Dropped her off at the airport on Sunday. So woke up Sunday. I was still fairly intoxicated.
That's a good Sunday morning.
Had to get her to the airport, and driving a pickup on those roads in Seattle is like scary as hell. I'm not very good yet at my spatial awareness in such a big automobile.
Yeah.
And the roads are, 5 lanes, and
Everybody's hammered down too. There's no Sunday drivers in
they
Seattle.
go so fast.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
I'm
Yeah.
like, the speed limit here should probably be like 45, but
It'd still do 90. Yeah. So
my dog just got sprayed by a skunk.
Just now?
Yep. Sorry to break into your moment.
that's a pretty good update though. This just in. Yeah, that's windows are up. Yeah.
I guess I'm glad I got the horse trailer hooked up. I know where they'll be sleeping.
I gotta know, not to interrupt, Joel, but Richard, I gotta know, how did this happen with the dog and the skunk? Like, did you just see it out the window? Did you smell it? Was it a confrontation? Did you run the skunk over? What's
they were chasing something. I was like, they were chasing like a ditch rat or something. And then I saw him give up and run off, and I thought, well, that's over. And then I drove by, and there was a skunk, and then I hit the smell. And then the Doberman was rolling around, rubbing his head in the mud. So I'm guessing he got hit.
Okay, thank you. That's what I needed to hear. It was
I thought the dogs were in the car.
No, they won't be. They won't be in the car. I'm just going to keep this horse trailer hooked up for the next 7 weeks.
Hang a garden hose in it and some tomato juice. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Okay, I needed that update. All right, Joel, back to Sunday morning. You got Johnny Cash on the radio trying to get Jess to the airport, and you got one eye closed trying to get there.
Yeah, part of the problem was, so I'll tell this story. Why not? Nobody listens anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I got up pretty early. I didn't have any time to like gather myself. I had a coffee. My friend Billy got me an iced coffee. Chugged that down. We had to go. I had a 4.5 hour drive ahead of me.
Oh yeah.
So I drop her to the airport. I start heading out. I'm like, okay, I kind of have to go to the bathroom now.
Naturally.
After that coffee.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just get out on the road and I'll find like a rest area. And they don't fucking have rest areas in Washington. Like,
there's only like one between there and Portland, maybe. I used to drive the shit out of that road. You went over to okay, so you went to that way, yeah. So yeah, you're not getting nothing to you. Like Ellensburg, there's one just outside of Ellensburg, pretty nice one, but that's it. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna make it to Ellensburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the feeling kind of went away. I'm like, all right, I'm good. Maybe I can make it to Ellensburg. And then it came back with a vengeance. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I've never been in such an emergency situation before. There was a Forest Service road exit.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, I have to figure something out here. So I pull off. There's a bunch of people parked down there at the end of the exit, going on hikes. So I take a left and go up this like road that looks like it's going to take you up into the mountains. And luckily there's no traffic around. There was this nice little like area. So I flip a U-turn, get out of my pickup, drop trowel against the pickup. Man. And I look to the right, and here comes a fucking car. Make eye contact with them, probably. They're a little far away. So hopefully I didn't notice anything, but so I wrapped it up real quick. And then you kind of poke around the back seat of your pickup, like, oh, everything's fine.
Yeah, man, just rearranging this thing here with stuff, and thank you much, neighbor. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking for something. That car was 100 yards away, and it must have taken them 3 minutes to go that 100 yards. Like literally, just took forever. Like fucking hurry up.
And so you're still in mid operation. You got to go finish up. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, of course, time is in a whole different spectrum at this point.
Yeah. So they finally go by slowly, and they get out of sight. Then here comes another car up the hill. Jesus. So
man, take a shit along the road in peace.
Have you ever done that before? You taking a shit along the side of the road?
Oh yeah.
No, this has never happened.
I usually try to get off the road a bit, but yeah.
Finally I could finish, and then I have to pull up trial again real quick because there's a whole line of cars. There was like 6 cars in a line coming down. There was probably 10 minutes of just traffic. Like, I think I hit it at the perfect time, but then I'm digging around for dirty socks in my bag, and so I left a mess by the side of the road.
By the side of the road. Yeah, you should always carry some secret weapon in your rig.
Now that you have a pickup, come on.
Put it in a Ziploc bag and throw it behind the seat or in the console or something.
You know what they should do?
Just get a brand new roll.
And they're always looking for new features, Dad, to these pickups, and I came up with one. You know, you can like lift the back seats up.
Mm-hmm.
You should put like an emergency toilet station.
Like a door you can just
there. Yeah.
You know, you can get a toilet seat that goes on the receiver hitch in the back that you can just put in, and then you can sit on that. It doesn't give you any privacy, but you can do that.
Good.
Yeah. Could be handy.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get one of those. That's a good idea.
Pretty slick, yeah. It just slides it right in. You can even get uppity and it comes with a bucket, but I think you just slide it in and give her hell. And
well, then what do you do with it? What do you do with it?
You can dig a little bit of a hole or something, or
just put it on the passenger seat.
You can just throw it in the back of the pickup. Yeah, it's gonna be clean. You know, you're not shitting on the lid, I don't think so. Yeah, it just slides in the receiver hitch and away you go. So then just throw it in the back.
That's a really good idea.
It's kind of handy, but always, you need a roll of brand new TP in a Ziploc bag in the pickup at all times.
Yeah, so that's what else did I do? I mean, other than that, it's work.
Compared to that, it was
work's getting busy. My responsibilities are finally starting to pile up. Good PSTH news. More good news coming tomorrow. That looks like it's finally gonna come around where I'm not in the hole in my portfolio.
Be nice.
Yeah. Still very bullish on that. So yeah, it's all for me. I had a good week. It was a good time with the girlfriend in town. Checked out Walla Walla.
Fun town too, actually.
Yeah, I really liked Walla Walla a lot.
Yeah. Not a bad
Sounds
little
so nice. They named it twice.
Walla Walla. Yeah.
Yeah, we were on our drive over to Walla Walla. I was listening to Sirius XM, one of the Comedy Central stations.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably not a great story to tell, but whatever. I thought it was neat.
We've already set the bar.
I thought it was neat. Just driving over there, listen to Mike Birbiglia.
Oh yeah.
And he starts telling his story about doing a comedy tour, and he was in Walla Walla, Washington. Like, holy shit, that's where we're going. What are the odds?
That's hilarious that Biggs was in Walla Walla, dude. Like, of all things. I can see Tri-Cities maybe. But I'll go anywhere.
These comics go everywhere. Like, you can't. So me and my buddy Tony are talking about trying to book a comedian to come to Pendleton and just organize it ourselves.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at venues. Like the Elks Lodge would be the main room downstairs. That would be an awesome room for a comedy show.
I think you get the convention center maybe too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of complexities that go with that, so we won't talk about that online. But yeah, I think
yeah, you need a nice room. You need a comfortable room
that would be fun.
Set up for comedy.
I called Greg Hahn. You know, he's always on Bob and Tom. No, he's like really amped up. He's freaking hilarious. He's former Marine. Like he's like redefines high energy. Anyways, I was trying to get him for a big meeting we did when I worked in Oregon, and the dude just like freaking picked up the phone having lunch in California, dude. And I'm like, hey, he's like, this is Greg. And I'm like, hey, Greg, how's it going, man? He's like, good. What's going on? So I just start talking. He's like, hold on, I'm having lunch. I'm like, do you want to call me back? He's like, no, I'll go outside for a minute. And like, literally, like we were just talking about, I'm like, well, what's your price? And he tells me, I'm like, it's a little above my budget. He's like, well, where can you be at? And I'm like, thinking like this, and here's my dates. He's like, that actually might work. I'm going to be around, you know. So like, if like this dude's on Bob and Tom is like absolutely hilarious and does a lot of stuff with like corporate. And
Is he the
was
King
like,
of England guy?
no, that's Tim Wilson. He's dead now. But
Oh.
but Greg, you I'll send you some bits. Anyways, my point being, like, you'd be surprised, like if you just reach out to these guys and tell them your dates and where you're at and try to, you can haggle on a deal, and they're looking to fill in a hole somewhere. So
Yeah,
it's worthwhile.
Our idea was to catch somebody doing that, like the tour between, Spokane, Seattle, Portland.
Yep.
You can catch them on their way.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're right, they're not too expensive. You could get somebody like, I talked to Dean Del Rey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him at a comedy club in New York and asked him how much it would cost. And he was like, I don't know, like $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure, that's all.
You can do that easy.
I'll just try it, even if we take a loss. That's fine.
It'd be fun. Like Brian Regan's another really good guy because he's clean, but he's absolutely hilarious and does a good show.
Yeah.
So anyways, I think that would be a blast. That's a great idea. I think that place is starving for something like that. And you got guys coming from Boise or Portland. Hell yeah, dude. I need to be all over it. So interesting, enterprising. I like it. Outstanding. Sweet. Well, keep us posted on that.
Entertainment to you when you're here. You can't just go out and find it.
That's the kind of can-do attitude we'd like to see here at the Far Reaches. Like, I'm just bringing shit to me. Yeah, I'm tired of watching HBO. Let's make it happen ourselves. Well done. Cool. Well, my reach around, I guess it's been a hurricane week here. It's not been bad weather, just a shiitake, a ton of rain. And so that's been fun. A few weeks ago, I almost had to put water in the pool, and now it's probably about a quarter inch from coming over the top. So
that's cheap.
First world problems. Yeah. So I don't like to cry about it too much. But no, I smoked a brisket last weekend. That was awesome. Went out and saw my buddy today. I crashed with when I first got to town, and we hung out, and he had found a bottle of Director's 20-year-old Pendleton in High Springs. So we sat on the porch and had a sample of that. So it was nice to get a taste of home, and that was cool. And bummed around there a bit, but just been getting used to being back in the office mostly, and working and trying not to drown when I'm not in the office. So yeah, it's been fun, but experimenting with open flame cooking as well. So
I need to get on that.
Yes.
How are you driving? Why are you switch your thing?
I told you he's just going in circles in the field. I'm telling you.
I'm backing up right now. I'm going to leave the dogs down with the horses, so I don't even have to deal with them tonight.
Got good thinking. Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to get them home to Lakeview. They might just live in the trailer but yeah.
The summer the dogs lived in the trailer. Yes. I should have recognized that activity because I've been with Richard a couple of times when he's been backing up the trailer. So it's always
safely parked.
Yeah,
safely
there's that too. He just has to get out. Yeah. So don't fall down.
There we go.
That's a good straight park job too. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
See everything?
For those of you who are flying along in the home game, Joel had to go poop again. And I think Richard is trying to wrangle up the dogs and get them in the trailer because they got scared with a skunk. I'm at the Far Reaches World Headquarters here in North Central Florida, Gainesville area. So we're doing a little play-by-play. The dogs are definitely been hit with a skunk. They are doing the power head in the sand, run around in the circle dance. So yeah, I'm giving some commentary, Joel, for everybody so they know what's going on here in the world of the Bradbury. So he's trying to get the dogs to go into the trailer.
Son of a
bitch! And Richard left the door of the pickup open, so the dog naturally ran right in the pickup. Oh my God. I think I almost hurt myself at that one because that was classic moments of activity with the get out of the pickup to put the dogs on the trailer because they got hit with a skunk and leave the door of the pickup open. Where are the dogs going to go?
I'm going to have to touch the Doberman to get him on the thing.
Just do your thing, man. We're having fun playing along with you at home. I still think we're missing a business opportunity by not putting a GoPro on Richard and charging a monthly subscription just to kind of come along for the ride. I think.
You don't know how bad the hay situation is?
Yeah.
Hay's been sitting back here for, I don't know, 4 years.
Yeah.
They came and cut the strings and took the other bale.
Somebody stole hay that looked like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I guess they felt bad about stealing the other bale, so they only stole part of that bale.
Leave a little bit for next time, I suppose.
Right up for hay.
Hey, karma. Yeah.
I have to touch. Oh my God, I got him.
Must have been some hungry horses to come, hungry and enterprising horses to come steal your hay.
Yeah, with the people on their back too. Yeah. So, goodness.
Yeah, people probably did actually.
Yeah, it was what those. Yeah. So, oh goodness, that's awesome. So, we've had the update from the Brad Brewer, loading up the smelly dogs in the middle of nowhere. Had to touch the dog. So he's probably got a smelly hand now, worse than normal, actually. And I think he's going to try to unhook the pickup. Are you going to hook the pickup and drive it home? Yeah.
I'm leaving these pastures down here, and they can howl all night, and nobody will give a shit.
There you go. Yeah. That's handy.
You're going to leave the dogs there overnight?
Yeah, in the trailer. They got a lot of room. They'll be happy. And he's going to unhook his trailer and drive home with that. So, yeah.
I'll be happy.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
Poor dog.
Yeah. That'll give him time to.
Did you just say poor dog?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh my God. How many dogs have you had that have been sprayed by a skunk?
None, Richard. I've never had a dog. Thanks for bringing that up. I've never had a best friend.
What do you think? If your best friend got sprayed by a skunk, you'd leave him in the trailer too.
I'm going to remember that. I'm going to remember that. Just because I might get you sprayed by a skunk just to leave you in a trailer.
All my best friends live in trailers.
Yes, and smell like dogs. So, we got that going for us.
I can't believe you can't smell it through the freaking Zoom.
Smellophone? Yeah, I can tell by such a random occurrence. I just love it. Yeah, of course, it's what we come to expect when the Far Reaches and the Brad Brewer. So I think that's a good transition, sweet Lord, to our entertainment spotlight. Joel, I think I've texted you 3 times since we talked about this movie, but thank you. It was like one of the better movies I've seen in a while, called The Last Picture Show. What possessed you to bring this to our attention and get it on the radar?
Yeah, I kind of went through like a phase there where I was trying to watch, or I wasn't trying to watch them, but I guess I got interested, but I never got the full motivation to watch some of these old movies. And we did it with that the car one. What was the car focus one I recommended?
American Graffiti?
Yeah, American Graffiti.
Yeah.
I saw it on a list of like the 100 greatest movies of all time. It looked interesting because it was black and white, had Jeff Bridges in it. The Sybil Shepherd looked awfully pretty.
Affirmative.
Pleasant surprise seeing her take her top off in that movie, wasn't it?
There was a lot of nudity in that movie. I was kind of surprised.
I had no idea what it was about other than like some high school kids from a small town in Texas, kind of their last go.
Kind of growing up. Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it'd be neat to watch a good movie, like a well-respected movie. Like these new, have you noticed? I've watched several new movies in the last year, and they're all just shit. Like the Netflix movie, for example, they come out and people they're like well hyped up and like this is a great movie. It's like #1 trending, and then you watch it like this is a terrible story. There's no character development. The acting's bad. I think it's like they're just mailing it in, and people just generally have a lower expectation of what they want out of a movie.
I think at this point, they're like scrambling for anything, or like, just put something out. People will watch it. We don't care.
Now, when I was watching this, I was hoping there would be like, what's the deeper meaning behind this movie? I don't really get any of that. I guess it's like I think there is. It's like the end of an era, but that's what we already said about American Graffiti. It's I guess it's sort of the same thing. And it came out around the same time, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so. It was, if I can scroll over to my other mega screen, 71, I think. Yeah. So I think Graffiti was after that, but similar time frame.
Weird movie, that, man.
It was. I think it really dove deeper than I expected into like some of the stereotypes, if you will, I guess, or the different characters. Like Sybil Shepherd was really just a crazy bitch. Like,
yeah, she's out there ruining everybody's life.
Yeah, and like anxious for it, like, wanted to get caught, like wanted her parents to come call the cops when they went off and got married, like running off with fucking Randy Quaid, who looked like the biggest strip shack there was to go to, thank God, the naked pool party, but like just ape shit crazy. Yeah. And like and then the whole thing with like Cloris Leachman, who was like, I have to admit, she looked pretty good back then. Like, seriously. The coach's wife, that kid was banging. Like,
yeah. When she first appeared, I was like, oh, this is kind of, I wonder if he's going to bang her. I was like, he should bang her.
That's what I totally thought too, dude. I'm like, man, there's just some chemistry here. Like, they're going to bang. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. And then.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Thankfully they did. Yeah. So I thought that was an intriguing part too, because it's like everybody knew, but nobody knew what was going on, basically. Like everybody knew that those two were having sex. And the kid's like, what, does everybody know? And she's like, of course everybody knows, like.
I was reading about it. I was reading about the movie afterwards, and apparently the coach is like, he's gay.
He's what?
That's why she's so unhappy, because the coach is gay.
What's going on there?
Brian just walked in and the dog is excited.
Oh, okay. It sounds like you. Fuck around.
This podcast has gone to the dog.
It has gone to the dogs. I think that's the title of this podcast. Hello, Big Daddy. Welcome to the Far Reaches, you menace.
Hey, Micah.
How you doing, brother?
Hey,
Yeah, real good.
What am I, top flavor? God dang.
Hi, Richard.
Yeah,
Hey.
take it easy, Bradbury.
Yeah. Come on, dude.
You psycho. Yeah. So the theory was the coach was gay. Is that what you said?
Yeah, and you know what? There is actually the only hint, and I think I didn't quite catch what happened. I was like, I just ignored it because I was like, that's implausible. But there's like one scene when they're at practice and like some kid is running off the court and he slaps the kid on the ass.
And the kid looked a little weird and like that wasn't like the usual coach thing. I saw that and then I let it go because I didn't think about it again.
But I couldn't figure out why she was all hysterical at the hospital. I was like, did she get cancer news or something? But no.
I never did find that out. So apparently not though, but maybe pregnancy? I have no idea. Yeah, I just don't know what the deal was, but she really wanted coach to go with. And that was kind of like the breaking point for her when like he didn't go. She was like,
yeah,
screw you. Yeah.
And then Sybil Shepherd's mother.
Mm-hmm.
She's a nice looking lady.
Affirmative. Yeah. That's yeah.
The weirdest part, I was like, there's a scene because there's the mentally handicapped kid.
Yeah.
That is like the kid's friend.
Yeah.
And there's like a scene in the movie where everyone freaks out because he kidnapped a child.
That's a different guy.
No, what?
The dude that's always outside sweeping, he's not the one that kidnapped the kid.
Oh, who kidnapped the kid?
The kind of the taller, lanky dude maybe the kid that got swatted on the ass by the coach, who was kind of always just like a kind of an odd outcast picked on guy, was the one who took the girl. Yeah.
I thought it was the mentally challenged.
No, he couldn't even find a car, let alone do anything else. Yeah.
But that was a weird segue because it added nothing to the story. It was just randomly inserted, like this happened. And later on, they're like, the main character guy defending him, like, nothing. He didn't do anything. He just got her to take off her underpants. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell? What are you talking about? Yeah, it was
significant.
I liked. It was interesting to see how like the sheriff like just rounded people up and they went and found the guy. You know, like it was like total chaos. Almost as funny as when they got the horror for the retard kid. You know, the sweeper guy. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know. It was just like
there's some really weird kind of uncomfortable moments.
Thing. Yeah, I don't know if they put that in the movie because back then it was. I bet they were like, "Oh yeah, that's not weird at all," but like that's really weird, guys.
Yeah, extremely. There were some uncomfortable moments in it, which I always think is probably it's interesting for me because you're like, was it uncomfortable back then, or was it meant to be that uncomfortable, or is it just me? Like, I think that's always interesting because I was like, several moments were that way. So
I guess in that movie, that the script was considered they kept calling when I was reading about it, they kept calling it it's a dirty movie. So like the guy that the old cowboy guy,
Ben Johnson.
Guy? Yeah. He didn't want to do the movie at first because one, it's a dirty movie. Two, there were too many lines in it. He had too many lines and he didn't want to do all those lines.
He didn't talk that much. Yeah, I know. I guess for Ben Johnson.
Well, he has that like 3 or 4 minute monologue. I think he wanted off for it.
Down by the river, that part? Or yeah. I always liked him as an actor though, too. So for whatever that says about what I think acting is.
I never heard of him before.
Oh, he's been in a lot of good movies. Hell, he was in Red Dawn. He was the uncle.
Oh.
In the first one. But
that's
yeah, he's a cool character actor. I think he did a good job in this. But yeah, there was a lot of weird moments in this movie. Like a lot of weird stuff about small towns, a lot of weird stuff about people. I really liked it. It was just, it had some strange moments and just the way it was shot. And like, you know, when the kid with the broom got ran over by the truck, you know, that was kind of a weird deal as well. Everyone's just kind of like, that'll learn him, you know, like, and Megan's like, what are you assholes? Like he's dead, you know? So yeah.
Whose house is that, Richard?
That's the
oh, they're just wandering around a stranger's home.
It's happened before.
I never stay here. The Airbnb. Oh, nobody here, and I'm just apparently here tonight. I'm just trying to find a place so someone to charge my phone.
I got an hour.
That place has changed a bit since I last saw it.
When we're eating pizza off the floor.
That would be it. Yes.
You can be on
a new lease on.
Yeah.
Right, well, I'm going to sign off for a second and log back on with my computer.
All right, group your feces. We'll see you in a couple.
You want to have a special guest, Michael, with Brian on the rest of the
Let's get Big Daddy in. Yeah, Brian, come on and sit down there, good sir. We'll bring you on for a while.
I got chores to do, but I guess I can sit in for a minute.
You got chores? Brian, what kind of chores keeps you up at night? What do you do, Big Daddy?
Well, I've been over in Baker for most of the last, I don't know what, week, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Morgan's playing the Little League softball tournament in Baker. It's the Little League All-Stars.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Hermiston, turns out Hermiston's pretty good this year. So that was a tough one this morning.
Did they win?
No.
I did not. They had a good battle.
We're going back tomorrow morning for the consolation bracket. Got Union County tomorrow morning.
Should be a good battle.
Well, yeah, we already beat Union County once, but now we're in the consolation bracket.
So they've seen the best stuff. Let's see what they come back with. Yeah. For those of you at home, Brian Big Daddy Curran is Joel's brother. Older brother, I might add, but he looks a lot younger. So Brian's always been spry and wispy and like that in nature. So yeah, we call him Big Daddy because he's a big daddy wherever he goes. And so he's Joel is crashing in his basement. So Brian, the landlord, came down to check on this just kind of, chaos that it might be, and thought he'd sit in for a few minutes. And we're super glad to have you.
So what chores do I have? We're hosting an event here this Saturday, and I got to get all my chores done. I've been gone for a while.
You got to get the yard taken care of, probably skim the pool, trim some shrubs.
That's right.
Get the barbecue ready.
Yeah. Got to trim my bush, all those things.
Yeah, you got to have trim bush is important, especially when you got company coming over.
Yep.
It's a North Hill tradition, trimmed bush. So that's important.
It's going to be a rough day. It's going to be 110 degrees or so.
Yeah.
We're going to golf. We're going to golf, and then
going out early.
DP's a bachelor party.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Should be
forecast in Pendleton says 111.
Sweet biscuits. It goes to 11. Yeah, exactly. Why don't you just make it freaking hot? But it goes to 11. Okay, I got you. Yeah, let's see. 84 and 88 is the high for the next 10 days here in beautiful Gainesville. So yeah, 70 at night, 84 in the day. Sorry. Yeah.
That's barely even pool weather.
Yeah, the pool stays warm though. So because it only cools off to 70 at night. So the pool's been averaging around 82. So that's a nice morning refresher. Yeah. So, but it's super full now. Like it would be, if I jumped in the pool now, I would probably splash on the house. Yeah.
We redid our pool this year, and we've been keeping it up around 85, 86, just so somebody will get in it.
Oh, Falcon. Yeah. Good grief. Yeah.
I have big summer plans to get in shape in the pool, but I haven't started yet.
Hasn't started yet. Yeah. Someone tells me it's going to be September. Yeah. Big summer plans for the old summer shape body. Labor Day. Shit. Yeah. That's going to be. Is it round? I'm roundup ready, baby. That's what you're going to be. Yeah. It'll be. So we need to host a Far Reaches podcast reunion at the Big Daddy Casa, maybe during Roundup. And yeah, we'll have to be live from the basement, I think. Or maybe Simiotti's, but definitely the basement for backup. So it can be good.
Joel set up shop right here next to the bar.
You got to stick with what works and what makes you comfortable. So that's important. And it's better than the locker room before. Yeah. So
Roundup would be a great opportunity to get a good guest to come on.
Yeah, we can do a series. I think we can get some people lined up and do several guests. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
We can start working on that now, even. Might be something positive to do. Yeah.
I thought there was a special guest today. Did I miss it?
I think she's fighting fires.
She had fire like right up in her kitchen, basically. So hopefully
I was wondering if there was going to be an Ely last time.
It's not an Ely. No, it's not an Ely. Oh. But it will be at some point. We'll have to have an Ely on for sure. Special guest is the Queen of Lake County is what I call her. But she's since we're doing Man from Snowy River next week by People's Choice.
She's a queen of something.
Yeah, like double white. Anyways, so yeah, she's pretty excited about coming on for Man from Snowy River for Entertainment Spotlight next week as well. So should be entertaining.
I can't wait to badmouth that movie on here.
Oh God, that'd be fun. Yeah, that would be.
I hate that movie. It's a terrible movie.
You hate Man from Snowy River?
I do.
I'll be there.
It's like a really shitty version of Lonesome Dove.
Not even close.
This is going to be so awesome.
So far apart.
Have you seen either one?
I haven't really thoroughly watched The Man from Snowy River, so I'll watch it again.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Give an honest opinion.
When we lived out at Pilot Rock on Birch Creek, we used to go to town and rent movies, and every time we'd go to town, The Man from Snowy River was definitely in that pile. The Lone Ranger, Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey.
We definitely had a pile that came back to East Birchgrave.
The glory days of heading. That was like a special time too. We're gonna head to town. We might get a pizza, and we're gonna go to the video store. We didn't have a Blockbuster. We just had the video store. You know,
Brian is. Oh, sorry, Mike. Keep going.
but yeah, it was just like the local place. The video, I think, is actually what it was called. And yeah, you'd reserve the ones that came in, or you knew the person behind the counter. They're like, yeah, I got that for you. Yeah, it was. That was big time, man. It was a 15-mile drive for us to go to town. So
in Pendleton, it was called the Video Giant at Melanie Square, and then Mr. TV somewhere over on like Southeast 2nd Street. I can't remember exactly where it was, but
yeah, I think we had Video Giant in the Grand too. That turned into Blockbuster, didn't it? Wasn't that down the corner where the Safeway used to be and now is a library? I think that was Video Giant. Anyways, I had a Video Giant video card. I recall that. So they don't just hand those out to everybody,
We moved out of that place in Birchgrove when you were like 6, right?
yeah, 6.
His memory is incredible. Like he remembers movies he's running when he was 6. I don't think Caleb's gonna remember a thing when he grows up.
Oh, well.
We call him the brain. That's why, man. He's the brain.
All Joel could remember was Short Circuit.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good show.
It was worthwhile. That's worth remembering. It's no Man from Snowy River or Smoking the Bandit, but it's top 25 for sure. Yeah. It's my little brother does the same thing to me. He remembers shit, and I'm like, you were like 3 days old. What are you talking about? And he'll know it's some kind of like, division of brain power amongst the herd, and it has to go somewhere. So it went to brain, luckily.
I have sisters, so I just gave up remembering stuff because they know everything.
Anyways, it's just a lot easier that way, Richard. Yeah, you got worry about other shit, man. Yeah. They're gonna tell when you're wrong, when you did whatever. It's good to go.
When you have sisters, it's just easier for them to be right.
Yeah, that's the advice they gave to Big Daddy on his wedding day. You got 2 choices. You want to be right, or do you want to be happy? So look at the man. He's happy as I've ever seen him. Yeah.
I think I'd rather be right.
Try it for 40 years.
I think when the guys were supposed to be giving me advice on what to do on my wedding day, they had skipped off to the rainbow.
We were a little late getting back there. Yeah.
We had our wedding way too close to the rainbow. That Presbyterian church is only like 3 blocks away.
It seemed a lot longer when we were trying to get from the rainbow to the church because we had Joel with us and he was kind of important for the ceremony, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So
in retrospect, that might have been a mistake.
Everything worked out.
There's
you
a
guys
bar
got the hitching. What's that, Richard?
There's a bar right out the back door of the Catholic Church in Lakeview that used to always miraculously be open during wedding events at the Catholic Church.
Oh, that's wherever there's 4 Catholics, there's a 5th. Yeah, so think about that one for a second.
Well, my sister's wedding in Winnemucca was directly next to Winners.
Yes.
Remember that?
Oh, some of it, yeah.
5 minutes before the wedding, we were playing blackjack.
Yes. And then we won the bride and groom a pretty good chunk of cash on the blackjack table after the wedding. We just kept doubling down and handing the money to them. Yeah, it was quite fun. Yeah. And then it got Western. So yeah, it was God, I haven't thought about Big Daddy's wedding in a long time, but there was a paper box that hid out the back of his pickup for almost a year. So
I didn't know it. I got scared. I didn't know what to do. I stuck that box in my garage for about a year and then delivered it to the front porch of the East Oregonian office.
We thought it would be a good memento, it had the paper in it because it had the paper with their wedding date, but nobody had any change. So we just put the whole paper box in the back of the pickup, It's the effort, really. So, yeah.
And I heard it was Willie that put all the other paraphernalia on my pickup that day.
It makes sense that Lunchbox would do something like that. Yeah. So, yeah. Such a lovely ceremony, though. Such a lovely reception. Such a lovely couple. Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, thanks for the flashback, Big Daddy. I hadn't thought about that in a long time. That was beautiful.
Good day.
We all made it through. We all made it through. Yeah. Oh, that is a great segue into next intellectual moment of the week brought to you by Pendleton Mixer and Cigar, good friends in downtown Pendleton. Stop in and tell the Shopkeep the Reachers sent you, and he'll take you in the back and give you a special treat discount only that he can do. So tell him the Reachers sent us and looking for the Shopkeep. So Big Daddy,
I tried that once, Micah, and he told me something that included the F word.
oh, go find yourself. Yes.
Yeah. He told me to go find myself.
Yeah, it starts with
I'm
F.
not
Far
sure if it
Reaches.
worked.
maybe say it again. Maybe you didn't say it right. I would say it twice. Just to make sure.
I got a word wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like, damn it, Shopkeep. I said I want the Far Reacher special. Try that and see what that says. Give that a whirl. And so seems extra. We have our intellectual moment of the week, which is usually a quote, not always, but it has been for a while. And so we thought, what better one than, and again, these just randomly appear to me throughout the course of the week. But here's our quote from Mr. Bertrand Russell, and it goes as such. The fundamental cause of the trouble is that in the modern world, the stupid are cocksure while the intelligent are full of doubt. Special guest Brian, what does that mean to you? The stupid are cocksure while the intelligent are full of doubt.
The stupid are cocksure?
Yes.
I'm gonna need a minute to ponder on this, Micah, because I'm not really quite sure what to make of what you just said.
Can you say it again?
Word of the week is cocksure.
Cocksure is the word of the week, apparently. Yeah.
Spell that word.
Coksure. Yes.
They omitted the second C.
What is this word? What is this?
Cocksure.
All right. Okay. What does that word mean?
Like
It means
bold or very,
Okay. Confident.
Sure. Yeah,
confident in oneself.
Yes.
All right. So now read the quote again. So I know.
Yes. I'm looking up synonyms real quick for you. Cocky, arrogant, conceited, confident, overconfident, self-assured, cavalier, and showy. Yes.
Okay.
So you can insert any of those in there as you feel. The fundamental cause of the trouble in the world is that the stupid are cocksure while the intelligent are full of doubt.
I'd love to reply right away, but I'm gonna need a minute.
You're gonna have to ponder that. You're not
Just
sure.
to reflect.
It's very solemn and
right.
deep water.
Well,
yeah.
We've had this before.
No, we've not this particular one. We've had similar. Yes. But,
The thing about it is that the whole concept, I forgot what it's called, but there's a concept of God, what is that? Do you remember the word? When people they don't know that they're wrong.
yes. You pulled it out of your ass, I think, last time. It was quite impressive.
I don't know how I came up with the word then.
Yeah. It's good. But I know you're talking about like you're not.
It's not Occam's razor. It's
Oh yeah, it's one of those weird pondering. Yeah, it's beyond me. I don't have it at the ready as I should. Yeah, but it's similar. Yeah, it's. Look at Richard. Either he has to poop or he's really intense. Maybe both. Maybe he just did. I don't know. What do you think, Bradbury?
I love this quote because I worked with these guys in the oil field, and you want to let them believe that they're correct when there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done, and you don't want to particularly be the first one through the door. So you're like, oh, yep, you're absolutely right. Lead the way.
Have at her. Yeah. And then you pick up the pieces.
But give them a little bit too much power. That's a problem, but most of the time it works in your favor. So I'm going to say this beautiful quote by Mr. Bernard Russell.
Bertrand Russell. Yes. Bertrand. Yeah.
It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's a hypothetical cognitive bias stating that people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability. So when dumb people, stupid people overestimate their ability, they're cocksure. And intelligent people doubt themselves. They're like, I'm doubting this. I feel like I'm intelligent enough. And when I watch like Tucker Carlson, for example, Like, I agree with him, but then I'm like, I'm fucking sitting here agreeing with Tucker Carlson.
Well, what happened to me? Yeah. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you. And you're worried about your, yeah. There was another
maybe
quote.
my crazy liberal friends are correct. I don't know. How would I know?
Yeah. What do we know? That's the problem when nobody knows what's true anymore. So there was another quote that was very similar that says, the more we know, the scarier the world is. I thought that was a pretty good one. Almost went with that one, but I thought
it reminds me of a quote from Multiplicity.
Hi, Steve.
A confident wave.
I got a wallet.
I got a wallet. I like pizza.
Confident wave and a clipboard. A confident wave and a clipboard can get you anywhere.
Oh yeah, I use that all the time. Actually,
Yeah,
it's very true. But Multiplicity, what a tremendous movie, by the way.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings is it's better to keep your mouth shut and let them think you're stupid than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Yes, sir.
Standing
Standing ovation.
I thought that was that's
I don't
Churchill.
think so.
I think that's
I
Churchill.
think it's good, whoever said it, because it's very true. There's a lot of variations of that one too, but yeah.
People have said that to me a lot over the years.
When they said, thanks for removing all doubt, Joel. We appreciate that. Is that how they frame that? Like,
I'm pretty sure
You're
this whole
welcome.
podcast is a practice in that.
yes, absolutely. We take pride in that. Actually, so
All doubt, zero doubt.
Zero doubt. No, zero doubt episode. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. This is where I thought I'd be right now in my life. I'll tell you that much. No doubt about it. So
What does that say about the people that listen?
yes. Yeah, harumph. Some of the most intelligent people out there for sure. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
I think we're kind of like the Springer. You feel better about yourself after you listen to this. Like, at least I'm not that guy. I think that's what you got going for you. So whatever we can do to brighten up your day, maybe it's laugh a little bit, maybe it makes you feel better about what you're doing in your world. That's what we're here for. That's what Reachin's all about, So
Yeah, as a
we're
listener,
a couple swirly guests away from having a Steve.
hi, Steve. We will have a Steve someday, yes. But carry on, Big Daddy. What were you saying?
as a listener, I would say that your podcast actually goes pretty well in the background.
Outstanding.
You can pick up something, pick up a keyword in the background and choose to listen when you want to, and when you don't, just let it go.
That's what we were shooting for.
That's tremendous. I mean, that's like, it's relaxing enough that you can still have it on and listen, but it's not distracting from what you're doing otherwise. But you might tune in and hear some things every once in a while, or like, what? Maybe you can rewind. I think, that's perfect. I love it.
Have you ever learned?
If we've accomplished you listening in the background and having to put something you're working down on and say, wait, what the F?
Yeah.
And then accomplish what we need.
We just,
It happens.
yeah, that's beautiful. I think, man, I have to get a new hat. My head's swelling just hearing that. So thank you, Mr. Curran. That's
The
kind
first
words.
several episodes were a little rough, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
once you got Joel tuned up on the lingo, it got a little better after that.
We're still finding our way, it's
People still make fun of me, because I was like, turn out. Why do they call it turn out?
I think
What's
we-
a cow?
Where are you turning them out to?
Which one's a cow?
we get a lot of the comments are from one specific instance when Raleigh was doing hay last year, and you said, I'll swing by the hardware store and get a rake and I'll come up and help you rake your hay. And I still get comments from people about that. Like, was Joel seriously going to go buy a rake? And I'm like, he said it. Probably so. Yeah. Like, if you think about it, he's never probably raked hay or seen it happen. So shit, he was just going to go help Raleigh rake hay, man. So yeah, I'd love to see the mental image that you have, like Raleigh out there at the freaking Ace Hardware freaking metal rake,
I can definitely see Joel showing up in shorts after a round of golf with an Ace Hardware rake in hand.
Tag still on it, yeah, just like I think it's a good
Where
one.
do I get started?
I think it's a pretty nice one. It's a metal.
It's a pretty good rake. I got the rake watch that came with it. Yeah, it's a good one, I think. So yeah, just point me in the right direction. How's this shit work? Yeah, so yeah, that's one of our favorite.
Just work a tin cup reference in there. Totally unrelated.
But you caught it. That's what I appreciate. Yeah. That's the beautiful part about it. You picked that up, Big Daddy. That was awesome.
My other two Joel highlights was considering John Wayne gay because he slapped a horse on the ass.
Oh, I stand behind that. Go back and watch that scene. It's the girliest.
And then when he tried to explain the Rosnish program to Amy McNamee.
Yes.
Those are two favorites.
And I stand behind that too. They were biased as all get out on that.
you bastards living there and shit. How dare you? Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. I'm trying to keep my notes here. I can get these captured, So that's the other thing I've been trying to do.
Lucky that there was a firewall on the internet.
I'm trying to talk her into coming to Roundup so she can meet Joel. Yeah, and if he talks shit about Snowy River, our special guest will probably come to Roundup too, and track him down. I guess that would be a way to put it.
No, he'll die in his sleep.
Unrelated matter. Yeah, like I was never there. Yeah.
Now let's bring back the rating system just so I can fairly compare it. So I would give the Last Picture Show, give it a 7.5.
I would agree. Yes, I almost went 8, but I think 7.5 is fair, just because it kind of creeped me out a few times. Yeah, and a little dark. Just saying. Yeah, Brian, did you get a chance to watch that?
No, I've never seen it.
It's worthy, but it's a little squirrely. Yeah. It
when you're given a wishy-washy review, I don't know if I want to spend the time, if it's going to be freaking me out or if it's not going to be worth my time.
It's got some good nudity. It's got that going for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Sybil Shepherd. Yeah.
Oh.
We've got Bush. So it's got some decent nudity. It's not Revenge of the
I picked up
Nerds,
that
but
reference. That's Porky's, right?
No.
Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, can you see parallels between it and Lonesome Dove?
Yes, actually, you can. It's the small Texas town that's dying.
That's why I'm asking.
It's the small Texas town that's dying.
All right.
And they're getting the hell out of Dodge. Yeah. And there's a little bit of strife over a woman. Two best friends are kind of battling over a woman. And she's crazy.
Down in South Texas.
Yeah, this is in North Texas. They actually at one point go to Mexico. The two main characters do load up in a pickup and go to Mexico for the weekend. So Richard, you bastard, now you say it out loud, there's like 15 parallels between the two. Yeah.
One of them doesn't have to bring one of them back in a coffin though, so skip that part.
No, but one of them goes and joins the army, so he might come back in a coffin. One of the main characters does die. Sam the Lion dies. So yeah. You dick. What a tremendous, you snatched this 9-pound bass right out of the water. Look at Bradbury. He's been searching the internet for the past 15 minutes, intelligent shit to say about the last. Yeah, and then here it comes. So well done, sir. Well done. Tremendous parallels.
You know what my favorite movie in our history of reviewing movies was that Oregon logging movie.
Oh yeah. Sometimes a great notion.
Oh, that was a fantastic movie. We watched that too.
Yeah, we watched that.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time for sure. And books too. The book is really good. Mr. Kesey.
He also wrote a book about Pendleton Roundup.
Yeah, he did.
Mike has sent me that in the mail one time.
I did. Yeah.
That's the only time I ever got the book randomly.
I'd forgotten about that, but you're welcome, good sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt it was worthy to share that. Yes. So yeah, it's a great movie. And actually one of the dudes that was in Last Picture Show was in Sometimes a Great Notion. The guy that played Abilene.
Yep.
The guy that was banging Sybil Shepherd's mom.
What?
Everybody's banging Sybil Shepherd's mom. That was Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was banging her.
Well, he was, but that wasn't happening in the movie. It happened during the context of the movie. He was the dude that always wore the coveralls and was the right-hand man for the oil.
He's the
dude.
guy that actually banged Sybil Shepherd on the pool table too.
He banged her too. Yeah, he had the sportsman special. Yeah.
Okay.
Look
Yeah,
at Big
that was
Daddy.
another awkward.
Wasn't
scene.
that weird? Yeah.
This
damn
high
it.
school girl slept with this older man who was sleeping with her mother, and they just sort of glossed over that.
Ben Johnson from all the John Wayne movies.
Yeah, he owned a. He didn't bang the chick. He owned the pool hall that the chick got banged in, and he banged the mom way back in the day, but not actively in the movie. But the guy Clu Klager, who was on Sometimes a Great Notion, was also in this movie. He's the one who banged the mom and Sybil Shepherd, not at the same time, but closely.
A lot of banging going
A
on.
lot of banging, yeah, like a screen door on a hurricane. Yeah, that was probably the working title of this movie. A lot of banging. I think that's what I'd have called it. Yeah. So
Speaking of the screen, there was that scene when he walked back into the bar, and there, I had the volume up, and there's like the scene where the screen door just kept pounding against it. Remember that? I watched it twice because I fell asleep towards the end. But
I think that's when the kid got run over. I think is when that happened.
Yeah.
Sort of like a empty, it's all done for now. So
Well,
yeah, I totally blocked out the pool table bang scene. Yeah. What was that, Brian?
I'm out of my element here. I haven't seen the show, so
Damn it, Donnie. Yeah. So
Don't worry, I haven't seen it. I'm just faking.
I told you
Okay.
Richard was Googling shit on the internet. Yeah. It's a good comment though, Richard.
I
Real
also
good
told,
comment.
we just watched Big Lebowski. I don't think we finished it, but I told Brian about the theory that Donnie doesn't actually exist. It's a figment of Walter's imagination.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? There's one scene where the dude communicates seemingly directly to Donnie.
Well, there's that, and also the ashes,
they
because
were
they do
spreading ashes on the cliff.
on the
But-
dude.
But the dude had to know about Walter's imaginary friend and learned from Walter that he died, and that's why he was so disinterested to be there in the first place.
But ashes.
With
Do you
the
think they would
ashes,
have had the ashes actually physically go on him though?
Who did the dude think was on his bowling team the whole time?
the bowling team was only 2 people.
Yeah, Donnie never bowled. No, actually he did. He bowled. Yeah.
He bowled, but he wasn't part
on
of
the team. Yeah. It's a deep complex. Yeah. It'll make your head hurt. There's other things to stare at in that movie, but yeah, I'm just
You
gonna
want to
go
really get
find
into
a cash machine.
the symbolism of the bike rider and Raising Arizona.
Oh, yeah, the Harley guy. Yeah.
Never seen that movie.
You never seen
What?
We're watching Raising Arizona tonight.
So
Yes.
what are the
Brian,
What are the
Brian,
theories
your
with the-
skills as a big brother have been called into question if little brother Joel has not seen Raising Arizona. Richard, I'm
Those were
sorry
the
to
South
interrupt.
days. Oh my God.
How this woman who looked as fertile as the Tennessee Valley. Yeah.
You're young and you got your health. What do you need?
What do you want with a job? What's the need? His dip tit? Yeah, like
Honey, we got the dip.
Some of the theories is he's highs the Grim Reaper coming to get High. High keeps escaping. And then another theory is he's actually High's brother that was miscarried.
how would you get to
And
that?
just a figment of High's imagination. So,
Because he says he dreamt of him,
yep.
Yeah.
and that's when he shows up.
And, and it all revolves around a child.
Yeah. So, okay.
Oh,
Wow.
and the High originally brings the kid back when he feels guilty of taking the woman's child.
At the end. Yeah. Spoiler alert.
But
yeah.
it's all brought about by this mysterious figure in it.
Mhm.
That he dreamt.
Ultimately gets blown up by a grenade.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. You warthog from hell. Yeah. Just get down on the floor, young missy.
All right. Well, I guess we're adding to your entertainment spotlight next week. Will.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely have the man from Snowy River, even though Joel says it sucks. And then we'll probably have to have Raising Arizona, just because it's like, I can't believe somebody who considers himself a fan of film has not.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad.
It's okay. I worry about your brother status. Definitely man card is starting to get torn, but it's okay. We caught it early enough. It can be fixed. Yes.
What about Miller's Crossing? Tell me you see Miller's Crossing.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, are
Never
you
seen-
talking to me?
Never even heard of Miller's Crossing.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's another one. Maybe we should just call this movies Joel should have watched by now. Yeah. I'm just
All right.
saying.
I
Yeah.
can't believe you grew poop.
What's that? Easy for you to say. It's another Coen Brothers movie. Yeah.
Oh, Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, 1990. Yeah.
You see that one, Brian?
John Turturro.
You're gonna
That's my
like
guess. Anyways, yeah. So, Joel, let's lead us to our next phase of the whole podcast, and that's our word of the week. Do you have one standing by that's not cocksure?
Well, actually, since Brian's here, Brian found the word for me.
Oh,
'Cause we were down
outstanding!
at the rainbow.
There, he's doing his.
I stopped by the Rainbow earlier today, and
Where's the word?
Joel said he was looking for a word.
So I'll give it to Brian.
No, you go ahead.
It seems fair. It's up to you.
All right. Well, the word is portmanteau.
Say again.
Portmanteau.
Can you spell that?
P-O-R-T. P-O-R-T. Well, Portman, like Natalie Portman.
Gotcha.
Toe, like T-E-A-U. Portmanteau.
So it's French.
2 words or one?
It's one word.
We were sitting at the big table at the Rainbow, and Joel said, I need a word for the word of the week.
Portmanteau.
Let me see if there's a website.
Can you use it in a sentence? No, I'm just kidding. Origin would be
It's the opposite of a memento. It's something that you don't want to hold on to.
oh, interesting.
No,
That's a good theory. I think it's
No.
wrong. But that's a good
I
theory.
don't think that's it.
Yeah. No.
Here we go.
No.
Let me see. Can you hear this?
Portmanteau.
Yes, I have it. Yes.
Portmanteau.
She doesn't help any.
Portmanteau.
Portmanteau. Portmanteau. I'd say I'm even struggling to get origin on that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a couple examples. I thought the couple examples were interesting.
Ooh, outstanding.
The first example, and if you can't get it, I'll give you a second one. First example is a motel.
Portmanteau. Is it like the elevator you put luggage in?
No, that's a.
Oh,
What is that?
like a room on a train?
Like a dumbwaiter?
Dumbwaiter.
Kind of like a
that's what-
dumbwaiter. Yeah, that's usually for food, not necessarily luggage. I was thinking like
Yep.
a portman. Yeah.
Second hint.
Oh, like the little.
Luggage card?
No.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
smog is the next clue.
What was the first clue again?
Motel.
Hotel.
Yeah, smog's a good one.
Wow,
I'm
that's a
saying
word.
motel because I didn't know motel was a portmanteau.
Not a hotel, but a motel to the Holiday Inn.
And I also didn't know smog was a portmanteau. And I'll give you one that I knew was a portmanteau, which is another Brian example is stagflation.
Which is why I brought it up.
Stagflation. Think about these clues out loud. We have a motel, stagflation, and what was the second one again? It's already out of my mind.
Smog.
Smog, stagflation. Oh, it's a combination of two words.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dang.
Yes.
Take
Ah.
two words, take apart from two words and stick them together, and you got a new word.
Did you know motel was a portmanteau? I did.
Yeah, motor lodge and something else. Yeah,
Motor hotel.
yeah, because that's when you said motel, I was like, so it's not a hotel. There's a distinct difference. And then smog, yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well done. Because like those things had nothing in common, so it had to be what they were, not what they were about.
And that came out of the Rainbow.
Well,
Huge-
yeah, it's
yeah.
an intellectual place.
A
very
lot
good
of
for-
shit has come out of the rainbow, man. Yeah.
The leader of the intellectual moment was there, so
Oh, outstanding.
All the things were happening.
Dude, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. I gotta get this spelled right. Portmanteau. Yeah.
Yep.
Need to get that in the notes of the show. So when I go back and write these brilliant descriptions and titles, I know remotely what I'm talking about. Yeah. Which is always fun. So Big Daddy, you're perfect timing too, because it's now time for what's grinding your gears, brought to you by our really good friends again at B&K Auto Salvage. Kids, with social distancing rules still in effect in the People's Republic of Oregon, you can just call and order your part, pay over the phone, and they will pull it and have it available for you to pick up directly. Or, and I know many of you reachers out there, this is your style. If you like to come in there and pull your own, just come on in and enjoy some good old-fashioned junkyard fun. Don't forget, promo code Reacher, you get discounts on pulled parts and a bunch. Nice little bump in those scrap rates. So the bigger the sale, the bigger the discount. So don't forget our good friends at B&K Auto Salvage in the scenic Grand Ronde Valley. Boys, what's grinding your gears? Let it lay on us.
Well, I'll go quick because, grinding my gears is kind of pushing it. But
Wow.
I've been in Baker quite a bit, and almost everybody in Baker, it seems like, has completely forgotten about the bigger picture of the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of one trip that I made, I made a little side trip over to Weimar, and I walked in and a lady handed me a mask with a pair of really long tongs. I've got a 6-year-old, Caleb, with me, and I go into Weimar. And she says, "Here's your mask," and handed it to me with a pair of 2-foot-long tongs.
Stuff it down the front of your pants.
So what is grinding my gears is people who even now are still holding on with both hands and can't let go.
Yes. Mega security blanket. And 2-foot-long tongs, by the way, great name for a band. Just going to throw that out there.
I couldn't believe it. She picked up a mask from standing far away from it, picked it up and lifted it over the counter.
Did you put it on?
I strapped it around my chin and said, "Well, thank you." And
I'd be like, whew, thank you much. Yeah.
And she says, "Well, I said, "Man, you guys are the only place in town I've even seen one of these." And she said, "Well, we're corporate." And I said, "Yeah, maybe, but
that's what
I think you're a member-owned co-op, but whatever."
That's the first word that comes to mind when I think of Weimar. Yeah, corporate. So, and of course, Brian's going to point out the facts. I think
I didn't
member-owned
feel
cooperative,
arguing
but
with
yeah.
her, so I just said thank you. And
Yeah, exactly.
But people that are holding on with both hands and just can't let go of.
Yeah, I see them here in Florida. I still see people every day. My office is on the 3rd floor, overlooks the street. People on scooters, which is outside on the street, no helmet and a mask outside.
I had
in the rain. Yeah.
I had heard of these mythical places where there's still masks, and I thought, not in the Great Basin. Not in the
Oh, this is awesome. Yeah.
Anyway, so I had to make a trip to the Alvord Desert this weekend, and I stopped in Denial Junction, which is
junction is a gracious word.
Yeah. Anyways, and went in, got some lunch, and headed on to Alvord Desert. Did my meeting and was headed back. And one of my favorite places in Oregon is Fields. They have really kick-ass milkshakes, hamburgers, and just a really good little store. Well, it was pretty hopping. There's a bunch of tourists there and bike riders and everything. So I thought, well, let's stop in and grab some stuff since I stopped in Denial, I'll stop in Fields and get my snacks for the way back to Adele. It's like a 2-hour trip. And walk in, and I'm greeted at the door, and the girl says, "Do you have a mask?" And I'm like, "No." She goes, "Well, we can provide you a mask." And I'm like, "Nope, that's all right. I'll just go to Denial." Anyway, so drove down the road 20 miles to the Denio Diamond Inn bar, and no mask requirements at the Diamond Inn bar, and had a couple quick drinks and headed home.
Yeah, I'm like, what, you want me to rob the place? That's the reason I'm putting a mask on in here. All right.
Yeah.
It's
The thing I get a kick out of is when I walked out, I looked at all the picnic tables and all the tourists in their sandals and their cargo shirts, and they were all happily wearing their dungarees and their mask. And I was like, I think this trip was wasted on you. I don't know why you would come to the Eastern Oregon part and be in the desert. I don't think Corona can even survive in alkali, but you never know.
No, the elevation and the UV and everything else, and just the general atmosphere. Yeah, that stuff's like, and why would you sit outside with a mask on? I still never understood that one, but power to the people. Yeah. So yeah, that'll grind your gears for sure. Yeah, like between the tongs and the
They had rubber tips on them. She didn't even hand it to me. It had rubber tipped steel like barbecue thongs with rubber tips on it, and she like grabbed it and stuck it over the counter.
Was she like dipping it and boiling alcohol after every time too? I was wondering. Like, oh man, I wish this lucky number Tuesday. Yeah. Oh. What were we saying?
What do you say to some? So I complain about that's the only thing that's on my mind that I guess is grinding my gears right now is the whole mask concept.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you guys say to somebody? So if I complain to my liberal friends and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I can't believe we're still fucking wearing masks. And they say, what's the big deal? How does this inhibit your life? Nurses wear masks all day, or the doctors wear masks. Like, it doesn't. And I'm like, it does. But they're like, why? I don't like something over my face. It's as simple as that. But there's got to be a bigger reason why
Absolutely.
you don't like wearing a mask and why
There's
you're
10,000
so against it.
Choice. Rule number one, choice. Since day one, choice. I should have the choice to do that if I want to.
If they were effective, and I believed they were effective, I would be more inclined to comply. I do not think they're the least bit effective. And I think even fucking Fauci's emails prove he also does not think they're effective. But they're making you do this theater anyway, as Rand Paul would say.
Theater. Well, you look at the box. Look on the box that the mask comes out of. It says not good for airborne illness or whatever it says. Like, it says right on it, like, don't waste your time. It's a security blanket. It doesn't matter.
And it's fine when you have an alternative and like, okay, I'll go down the streets of the normal place. It doesn't make me wear a mask. But sometimes they got you by the balls. And it's like, well, I can't go to the other place. And so you put it on, you go in and do your business, and then you take it off when you're leaving. And they're like, can you put your mask on? I'm like, no, I'm fucking leaving anyway.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Kick me out? I'm leaving.
I'm going to throw something out here, and I bet Richard's probably going to help me out on this a little bit, I hope. But America historically has been a place that has said, thou shalt not type laws rather than thou shall do this.
Mm-hmm.
And putting on a particular thing. I think this was the argument for in a healthcare debate where they said that you have to do this as an American. And most laws, I think almost probably entirely in the history of America, it hasn't been a thing where you have to do something as an American. It's always been, don't do that.
No, yeah, prevent something from occurring to you. It doesn't usually say that thou shalt. It's like this cannot, or which is how we came to be. And so again, I always just think it just boils down to choice. If you want to look into the science, if you want to stay home, if you want to do this or you don't, like, and ultimately what really got people all fired up too is like, you don't care about my health. You're right. I don't give a shit about your health because it's yours. If I did, I'd walk around and I'd swat that fucking cheeseburger out of your hand and the Diet Coke. Okay. Believe me, the mask is the least of your worries. Okay. I'd be at your house at 5 a.m. getting you up to go for a run if I worried about your health, or if the government worried about your health it'd be the same thing again, but that's not their job. A, it should never be their job. B, and you're right. See what I do? I don't put on sunscreen so you don't get a sunburn. That's the same logic that's in logic that is in fact here. Like what I do doesn't impact you. If your mask works, ominous dominus, carry on. If your vaccine works, what do you care what I do? You know, it doesn't matter. If I wear a rubber, you still might get pregnant and you're having sex. It doesn't have any correlation whatsoever. That's me. Choice. That's the whole point. Choice.
There's probably a name for the difference in the affirmative versus.
Correct. Yes, I think that would be the more intelligent way to look at it. But yeah, it's
I think you
usually
just had the word. It's affirmative.
it's in the affirmative. Yeah.
Well, it's prescribed.
Okay.
Well, the whole point that gets me is like there's examples around this country where the restrictions have been lifted. God, what a just awful thing to say out loud. Restrictions have been lifted. Like, what are we at a high school? Anyways, where people are living freely and nothing is going wrong.
Even in those places, there's little holes in the wall that are doing their own thing, right?
Well, what I'm
They're
saying
like,
is look at Florida, look at Texas. Okay, nobody's dying. And they said we were all going to be dead like months ago. And yet there's still states that have this stuff imposed for some reason. Like, what is going on? Why aren't people burning shit down?
In Florida, they'll still be like, you need to wear a mask.
Not heard of that at all. Like the governor just pardoned everybody who had any kind of mass shit already happening. Just happened. So there was a period of chaos, but like
what I felt really
what
I felt really bad for in Oregon, the kids in school.
Yes, it's awful.
Like the last 2 weeks, all the adults had pretty much given up on the masks. And like even Safeway's looking the other way now and not making people wear masks. But then you go into the middle school and the high school, and all those poor kids got to wear a mask, and they're still doing this whole thing, and they're the least susceptible to the disease of anybody.
100%.
Now tell me that there isn't some psychological thing going on with that. I mean, they may not be able to get adults, but by God, they can get your kids. And I've heard stories of people's kids that like they have to beg and plead with them to take the mask off, and a lot of kids have just decided it's just easier to go through life with the mask on because
scared.
These people are masking them.
So wrong. So wrong. Yeah.
My bride has already threatened to move us out of Oregon because of it. She's really taken offense to the idea that our kids are having to bear the brunt of this argument. They're actually the ones that are going to have to do it. And I believe it's already been prescribed for the fall term that kids are going to have to wear masks in Oregon. And it's not even July yet. And Jesus. I mean, they're already saying it's a given. And so I guess we're looking into.
I mean, can they legally, if you refuse, can they legally be like, your kid can't go to school? Like, then you're like, you have an obligation to teach my kid.
Well, I think
even if not, like, why do you put your kids in that position? That's awful. Just awful.
And are the teachers, when they go into and this isn't the teacher's fault, I'm sure. Like, but they enforce the rule. But like, if the teacher goes into the lounge.
They pay into
the lounge. They take their masks off in the lounge. I guarantee it.
Oh, let Richard rant for a minute. This is going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 100% the teacher's fault. They pay in money into the unions. They support the unions regardless of anything, and they don't ever push back. This has been if all the, they'd rather fight over the working conditions than say, hey, we're not wearing the stupid mask. The kids aren't wearing the stupid mask. If you don't want to do it, then just shut down the school.
I think this should be a school board issue, right?
The teachers have equal amount of power to argue either side, but they use it as, it's rather than doing what's the ethical, moral thing, they're using it as leverage to negotiate their contracts. So, yeah.
I think there should be pressure locally on the school boards. Like, this is not going to happen. Like, I think that's where it needs to come from.
You're really getting down to a lot of small jurisdictions there, Micah, and I think you're going into a lot of people. I mean, just take a look at what happened in Beaverton just recently with what they said. about what's going to happen in their schools.
I didn't hear that.
I wish I could, but I'm gonna have to Google it again.
Okay. That's what she said.
Critical race
Yeah,
theory.
critical race theory stuff.
Oh, sweet Lord. Yeah, that's even worse than the
Beaverton
mask.
schools put out a statement that said, we are all white supremacists and we are going to do everything we can now to become anti, it is a long way out there.
I drowned in the irony when anybody talks about this. Like you're looking at me and based solely on my skin color, you're telling me I'm a racist.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But in Beaverton, it's even a step farther than that. I mean, the school board and their people that get to have an opinion there are almost entirely not white, but they come out and say that the Beaverton school district is white supremacist.
Obviously, yeah, that's who's in charge. Wait a minute. Whoops, crap. Yeah, it never holds water. It's beyond ridiculous. I can't wait for the archives to be dug up on this part of our life and just be like, somebody test the water from that period because there was some crazy shit going on. Yeah, either the aliens were messing with the brains or something. Yeah.
I don't know the local politics, but I think Beaverton is definitely leading Oregon for some reason.
Yeah, it's just
That's strange because Beaverton is sort of like a more conservative area of Portland.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe. I haven't kept up with it, but I think that rings in my brain. But some of all this crap that has really shown true, though, is just how important local government really is, be it governors, be it mayors, etc. Like, yeah, the federal level kind of shines a light, but what really controls your day-to-day chaos and happiness is who's running your town and who's running your state. And I think for a long time, we haven't paid much attention to that. But if anything I've learned in the past year and a half is that for a fact. And that's why I keep pounding about local involvement and activity, because it has to start somewhere. And when Kurt was down a few weeks ago, we were great, intense discussion about this when we were talking about all, because like here we were like, we went to breakfast and there's no mask. And he was just like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I'm like, it should be like this everywhere. And he's like, well, Max can't do it all on his own. I'm like, no, you don't. Well, it has to be like town council or the League of Oregon Cities or something. Like there has to be groups of people coming together and saying, fuck yeah, until it just makes critical mass, because you just can't let it go that way. I think, and it's easier said than done, but it has to start local, but people getting involved on town council, on the school board, all those things, and help make those choices. Because if nobody's there, yeah. What's that, Big Daddy?
Planning commission.
Absolutely. Anything local,
We had a wetlands conversation last week.
You had what?
We had a wetlands conversation last week at the Pendleton Planning Commission.
That will be interesting.
Enjoyed it. Pretty cool conversation.
But as a long-time lobbyist person I used to know, we called her godmother. She always said, the world is ran by those who show up to meetings. And it's so true. So
Yeah.
I wish there was like one place, and maybe there is, and maybe they just ignore it because it ruins their narrative, but one town in Oregon that was just like, fuck you, we're not going to make our students wear masks, and we're not going to do any of this stuff, and we're going to ignore all of your rules and force Kate Brown's hand.
Didn't Baker do that a while ago?
No, that was such a ridiculous letter. It was like this strongly worded, we will not blah, blah, blah. And at the end, unless you drop these restrictions, they didn't do anything. They just threatened to do something.
I think that might come out of Sandy. I was sitting next to a guy at the hotel in Baker, and he was from Sandy. And I said, you know what? I've seen your mayor on national news lately. He said, oh yeah, my daughter went to high school with that guy. And I think he might be leading something in that effect.
Good.
What do you have, Richard?
What they did in White Pine County in Nevada is they sent a letter to the state boards like the OSHA and all the state people that did the regulations and enforced them, and said, all right, you're welcome to come and do any inspections you want in White County, Nevada, but you need to check in with the sheriff, and at that time he will quarantine you for 2 weeks. And once your quarantine is up, then you can come and do any inspections that you would like.
Like Super Troopers?
Yep.
Very nice.
That's a great idea. That guy's
Yeah, I was using the. Oh, you want some stupid rules? There you go.
I would pay somebody to watch the door, and if they so much as cracked it or open a window,
Reset.
I'd be like, "Oh, sorry, we got to reset your 14 days. Darn it!"
You made it to 11 this time. So close.
You can't leave me go back to Carson City until you've done your 14 days. This sucks for you. I'm so
Man,
sorry.
what a pisser. What are these crazy rules? Yeah, it's that precisely. You know, and how they weaponize OSHA against people and businesses is just shameful. I mean, literally, it has to be illegal. Honestly, I mean, I hope we see litigation from this for years to come. It's just insane. It really, I just can't even fathom a lot of these things. That's my biggest fear. Well, here, my biggest fear is Roundup is going to be all sorts of FUBAR, like, and I won't even go. I won't even have fun. Like, can you imagine like Letter Buck Room with like 10, 6 foot restrictions in LBR? Like, that's not why you go to LBR. I'm not going to Roundup and wearing a mask outside. Like, it just keeps me awake at night. Like, it just makes me sad to think about it, that how stupid it could be. I hope it's not, but I know the potential is just off the charts. Seriously.
If you go to Letter Buckram and you don't get your junk grabbed, you didn't really go to
exactly, precisely right. That's the whole point. Yeah, like, is there somebody there with tongs, like handing out stickers? Yeah.
If they open up the Letter Buckram with mask restrictions, they're coming off immediately. I can see them getting in trouble because most people aren't going to wear them. Nobody's going to wear them.
Dude,
and then
yeah.
How are you going to punish that? You're going to shut down the Letter Buckram forever? Like,
I don't know.
How that works out.
I just got bad mojo in my mind, man. Like, even like standing in line in the bar for the double D, like, you'd have to have people backed up to freaking Kurt's house, dude. Seriously, like, even to that, like, what are their plans? I don't even want to bring it up.
I think they're done
grinds
with
on
that.
me.
I mean,
What?
I think legally you're allowed to not have mask requirements in Oregon anymore. People just some places just choose to, like GPs going to make you wear a mask until they check your vaccine card, and they'll give you
yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm not giving you anything about my vaccine status. That's none of your business.
That's the wrong venue to try and pull that out.
Yeah, I knew that. I went to GP. I knew going in there they were going to be difficult with the vaccine thing. So I brought my card.
I'd bring like a note card I got at Weimar and written on crayon backwards.
That's good for me, but I also agree with people who make the decision they do not want to get the vaccine. Fine. I don't get why people fucking care. You have the vaccine.
Exactly. I should be like, ha ha ha. Yeah, I got the magic code and you don't. You're gonna be stuck outside. Like, what do you care so much? Like, that just makes me even more go like, dude, when you have a lottery, like, you're giving away millions of dollars for people to go get this thing. Like, I'm sorry. Now, if it was like a lottery for me to lose 50 pounds, I'd probably be excited and enjoying it. But like, you have a lottery for me to go get this shot? Are you kidding me? Like, aren't anybody's spidey senses like, wait a minute? Like, even if it's completely safe and there's not any potential long-term effects or whatever, still, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you have to do this? Like, I'm not getting in the van for free candy. It's so way worse than that even. Like, good Lord, man.
So they got me. So I got the vaccine. So now if I can show you my card and you can leave me the fuck alone, I'll show you my card. But they've already compromised my core beliefs on that.
100%, yeah.
But I'll acquiesce and show you, just so you leave me alone for the rest of the night.
Awful. Yeah. I'll just go get a bottle in a paper bag and sit on the curb. Like, it just seems so I just can't say no enough. Like, it's just none of your business, no matter what. If it works and you have it, what do you care about me? Like, you're immune, man. You got the magic, whatever. You got your cloak on you. I can't even see you. What do you care?
I like how some people like finally Bill Maher's coming back around. I've always liked Bill Maher, and then he was kind of insufferable there.
Way in the ditch for too long, man. Yeah, I couldn't stand him.
A year or two. And he's coming back around now. Last like 4 or 5 episodes. He's being more rational.
Even Jon Stewart was like, dude.
That Jon Stewart rant was classic.
Yeah. Like, hi. Like, you know, like check another one off the list. And we're like, yeah, told you so. Like, not that we care about told you so or not, but it's like, man. And then, yeah, the fact that people can't have an opinion, I think that's probably the most tragic thing out of all of this.
Jon Stewart's always been reasonable, though. I don't think he's ever wavered from being reasonable.
Again, he had way left in the ditch for a couple years for sure. Yeah. I think. Anyway, if I can't tolerate somebody, I'll put up with a lot for entertainment or something like that occasionally is like intellectually stimulating, i.e. Bill Maher. But for a long time, I was like, dude, that's just, I can't tank it. It's too much. You know, you lost me, man. I used to love to watch that show, and it's just too far. So
he gets caught up in his comedy shtick every once in a while, and he's playing to a certain crowd for sure.
Yeah, it happens. I understand that, but there's a lot of ways to play to a crowd and not sell yourself out to certain ideology or not. I think when we worry about what we say and offending somebody, and then that like ruining our lives, like that's so wrong. That's the whole point of like conversation, being able to disagree, like not agreeing and still moving on. Like I can disagree with you and not ruin your life, or vice versa. Or I'm not an inherently evil person because I don't see things the same way you are. I'm not a domestic terrorist because I think you're full of shit, you know, sorry. You know, so just some of these things that are getting batted around now, you're just like, this just seems like a bad movie. So hopefully, you know, sanity prevails at some point.
Good luck.
That was some damn good gear grinding, kids. Thank you again to our good friends at B&K Auto. So yeah, we're double clutching the shit out of that. No, we got one more segment. Hopefully you can stick around for it to share Big Daddy. It's the best thing of the week. So we like to finish up on a high note, a positive note, because usually we kind of get down in the weeds and a little bit of the dirt with the grinding our gears. So as our special guest this week, if you'd like to lead us off with what's the best thing of your week besides the softball tournament, I'm going to steal that one from you so you can have it. So go ahead.
I'll keep it simple. I'll say that I had a good week at work, and I'll tell you all about a couple of good things that have happened here pretty quick. But for the sake of this segment, I will say that watching my daughter stick her glove up in the air in left field and seeing the only fly ball I've seen hit into the outfield at the Little League World Series or whatever they're doing, Little League District 3 Championship, sticks her glove up in the air and a fly ball lands in it. And she looked at it and said, 2 hands in the air. And said, I caught it.
That's awesome. You're like, throw it in, but yeah, you caught it. Like the only fly she gets it. That's awesome.
Seeing Morgan out in left field catching a fly ball, like the only one of the whole tournament, was
that's pretty cool.
A highlight. Yeah.
Nailed it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep. I'll applaud that. Sticking with the current Casa there in P-Town, Mr. Joel, what do you got?
See you soon.
Thanks, Brian. Big Daddy, everybody. Big Daddy. We'll have him back. Valuable insights and culture. Joe, you got a best thing of the week for us?
I'd say aside from my roadside shit I took outside of Seattle, the relief. The next best thing, I've been watching a lot of Phil Mickelson YouTube videos on how to improve my golf swing.
Your short game there.
Well, I've still got the slice, Micah. I'm a slicer. But I've kind of figured out, today I went out to the range and as like the lesson says, go purposefully hit some draws. Exaggerate.
Over exaggerate, yeah, the other direction.
I did that, hit like 10 of those. And then I went back to using like the fundamentals golf swing tips that they do. It took me forever to understand inside, outside. Like, what is inside of what? What are you talking about? Do your swing inside. Inside? I don't know. Never mind. I'm just going to do it how I think it should be done. But
There you go.
something clicked in one of the Phil Mickelson videos, and I was like, I'm gonna go try that tomorrow.
There's
Put it together, man, and I hit 6 in a row, like either perfectly straight or a little bit of drop.
perfect. Yeah.
You
that's
want
what
the
want.
little bit of
You want a little bit
drop.
of draw, yeah.
In a row, and I was, it's still like here and there I might hit one, two, pop fly type of thing. But mostly I think I got it straightened out, and I cannot wait to go try to do that on the
course.
Also, then with the irons, with a technique where you take your hand and you want your hand parallel, and then I watched the right video and it clicked, and I'm like, okay. And then I did chipping, and now I have a strat. So my irons stay on the range, work great. And then tomorrow I'm going to try what I learned from chipping and putting, improve that. So I think I'll probably go from a 21 handicap currently. I'll probably be like in 9 next week.
No, you won't be that fast. No.
Well, after all, I learned a lot.
I think so. I have full faith. Absolutely. You'll be scratched.
So I think I'll probably knock off about 15
10
shots.
or 15 strokes.
Good luck, right?
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, on that one hole at least. Yeah. So 2 books come to mind too, Joel. I don't know if you like to read or not, but these are old school both. One's Harvey Pinnick's Little Red Book. It's just a bunch of like tips.
How are you going to learn golf from a book? You can't learn golf.
You'd be surprised. Harvey Pinnick and then Ben Hogan on golf. Ben Hogan was like the king of the grip and how it all works together. You should read both of those. And the illustrations are tremendous. But Harvey Pinnick's more about swing thoughts and where to be, things like that. Hogan's literally drawing, and where like most modern golf teachers now talk about inside and out and the pane of glass, Hogan developed that. So he's one of the most pure strikers of the ball ever. And he wrote that book, and it's tremendous.
Does he explain it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's awesome. You probably even find some old.
Hogan.
Yeah, you'll find some old, maybe even movies too. He used to do a lot of informational movies and stuff. But he wrote that book, and it's all about the illustrations, and it shows the golf grip, and it's freaking amazing, dude. And it's not like this. It's like a 70-page book. It's like maybe even less. It's awesome. It's just a good reference. So,
I don't know. We're probably running long on time, but I'm curious now that we're talking about it. Though I'm thinking of it. I don't understand. They've made such incredible strides in golf technology. Like, even if your driver even now is like 3 years old, they're like, got a new driver. It's better. Like, your other driver was in near mint condition. Like, what was wrong with that one? These guys, like Ben Hogan, who's probably using hickory.
Oh yeah.
And have scores really improved that much in the last 100 years?
Not to a degree. I think some of the technology, they used to mash the crap out of it. This is funny,
I have
dude.
a persimmon wood. I love it. I can hit that.
Dude, I used to have I had a persimmon 3-wood I used to just mangle. It was amazing. Yeah. I went to Amazon and I typed in Harvey. I just typed in Harvey, and Harvey Pinnick's Little Red Book is the first one that comes up. And the very next book below that is Ben Hogan's 5 Lessons of Golf. Okay. Yeah. So Richard's over here probably got a shotgun in his mouth by now. I was talking about golf so much, but
No, I have a golf recommendation for Joel.
Oh, cool.
I have a perfect training video that will not only help you with golf, but help you with all matter of important life issues. Relatively cheap.
Well, I only need help with golf. I've got everything else figured out pretty well.
Everything's
infinitely watchable. Infinitely watchable. So when in doubt and you're down on your luck, just go read Tin Cup. You'll be fine.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
Grip it and rip it. Yeah. I thought I had Dr. Griswold for a lesson. Yeah.
When I give out advice, I go play golf with people sometimes, believe it or not. I go play golf with people much worse than me.
That always helps.
They want tips from me, so I'll try to give them like a tip.
Go get a lesson, man.
No, it doesn't work, and I'm like, I don't know, just grip it and rip it.
Yeah. Only other acceptable option. Grip it and rip it. Yeah. It's golden. Richard, what's your best thing in the week besides dogs and a horse trailer?
Yeah. While I was in Boise, I went downtown twice. Never even, the idea of a mask never even crossed my mind. I mean, occasionally out of the corner of my eye, I saw people wearing masks, but didn't even.
Yeah, they just look weird.
Yeah. Anyways, I got to go to the Bass Center in Boise. Had a spicy lamb sandwich. Introduced a couple Texans to bass culture in Boise. We had some good beers, some pecan punch. I didn't drink any pecan punch because I know they're deadly. But I sure. So the funny thing was, the bartender at one of the main bass restaurants downtown used to work at the Martin in Winnemucca.
Oh, no kidding.
She was back there mixing it. And I'm like, yeah, you mix pretty good pecan punch. She goes, well, I should. I worked in Winnemucca for like 6 years. I was like, great. And I was driving, so I was buying the pecan punches for the guys that were with me. And I said, well, that's perfect. I said, they'll have 5.
Oh, Jesus. The last one to go so I can get them back to the pickup. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so no, it was fun to get back in Boise, get some good bass food, and
what are you saying?
Basque.
Oh,
B-A-S.
yeah.
Basque. Yeah.
The Spanish.
See, yeah. You should. Did you go to Pie Hole Pizza too?
They are neither Spanish nor French.
Yes.
No, they're from the Basque region is in Spain. They're like,
whoa, stop. The Basque region is in the Basque region. Spain encroaches upon it.
Yes.
What are you? Sound like a Palestinian. What are you talking about?
It's kind of like you. Brian lives above you. You don't live in Brian's basement, you know? Like
the Basque
claim, Richard.
The Basque claim no nationality other than being Basque.
Yeah. It's a sacred world, my friend. Yeah.
Well, all I know about the Basque is they make fairly decent looking pretty girls.
Hefty girls.
Good food, pretty women, good wine, good culture.
They make wine.
Yeah.
I want to preface it.
After you have enough of it, it tastes pretty good, right? Like they bring 4 or 5 of those, bottles in a basket out. By then, everything's tasting awesome. So
yeah. So no, so anytime you can hang out in the Bass Center, even though there's not as many bass as I remember being there, but when you get a couple bass bartenders and bass cook, it's worth the trip.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's outstanding. My best thing is I booked tickets. I'm going to Texas for 4th of July to hang out in Amarillo and see Robert O'Keefe play there for 4th of July extravaganza, play a little bit of golf. So I got the dog sitter lined out, got the plane ticket bought. I'm going from one sanctuary of freedom to another and having a little fun over there for a few days. So should be good to go to Texas.
Where's Amarillo?
It's up in the Panhandle. It's east of Dallas, a few hours north of Lubbock. It's north of Odessa.
You have friends there?
Yeah.
Oh. And you're going to see Robert
O'Keefe, R-E-K, Bob.
Oh, Robert Earl King.
The road goes on forever and the party never ends. Yeah, that guy.
That is cool.
So, yeah, we're going to go. I think the concert's on Saturday, I think. So I'm taking off. If I leave Friday morning at like 6 a.m., I fly out of Gainesville and then get to Amarillo about 11 o'clock in the morning. So
Amarillo by
morning. Yes. So we'll boil on that for a few days, and I'm coming back. I think Monday's a holiday, so I think I'm flying back Monday afternoon. So that'll be my first plane trip since I got back from Argentina March of 2020. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to put up with putting a mask on, which just grinds the shit out of me. But I made the sacrificial judgment that I'm willing to do that. So I won't have it on until they tell me to. We'll see how far I can get without it. So yeah. Anyways, I'm looking forward to the trip. Good friends over there. Play some golf and see some REK and hang out. And first trip like that I've had in quite a while. So it should be fun. We shall see.
One thing about the mass is in Seattle, there's one case where I was walking into this place. We were going to the car and we had to walk through a mall. And the security guard was like, sir. And I knew exactly what he wanted.
Oh, yeah. Like, go pound
So
sand,
I'm just
dude.
ignoring him. He's like, sir. And you just keep ignoring them and you just walk by them. Like,
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know you're talking to me? He wants to stop me and say, put on a mask. And if you just ignore them and walk by them, what are they going to do?
Don't call me sir. I work for a living. Yeah, just keep walking. Like, screw you, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? Like, you going to call somebody on your radio?
Come tap me on the shoulder. I dare you.
Exactly. Yeah. I bid you good day, sir. I bid you good day. Yeah. Yeah, it's chaos. I still think, like, I just can't wait to look back in the annals of history and be like, what in the ever living dog shit was going on back then? Like, seriously, two things: either it'll seem completely normal, or it'll seem like the most asinine time in our history in a long time. Just saying.
Yeah, the latter for sure.
Hopefully, yeah. So sweet. Well, guys, anything else to add to the good of the order? We've had a couple good hours as usual. That's some good. Thank you for Brian being our special guest, sit-in host. That was awesome to have some Big Daddy interaction and figure out we definitely need to watch Raising Arizona as well. Yeah, we'll be doing Man from Snowy River next week, hopefully with our special guest, Queen of Lake County. And hopefully all the fires are out by then. Yeah, she's pretty excited to come on and talk about that movie. It'll be fun to have her on and interact with the gang. So not, we'll just keep on pushing forward. So we're trying to get back on a more regular schedule, and there might be some of us missing from time to time. We might have some guest hosts, but we try to get something back to normal and control the chaos as much as possible. But guys, anything else to add?
No, great episode.
That's it for me, Micah.
Dynamite drop in. They're the best colormen in the business, folks. Yeah. So but everybody throw in a major league. I mean, how can you not? So outstanding. Well, on that high note, we're going to wrap this episode up, folks. Thanks for all the comments. Keep them coming. I'm having a great time putting everybody's comments, or not everybody's, but most comments on the Facebook page. If I screenshot a message and throw it on there, that's been a blast. I had some good feedback from the Far Reaches Extra with Cindy Klein, the author of the Cozy Murder Mystery books, which has been really fun. And so keep this coming.
Great, Mike. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had a blast. So we got some more people lined up. If you had suggestions for people we need to interview, if you want to come on and be interviewed, speak up. We'll drag you out here and talk for a while. You want to guest host with us? Come on, jump in the pool. Water's great. So it's all about fun, all about having reaching around a little bit. So with that all being said, we're going to wrap this one up. We'll see you kids next time. And until then, just keep on reaching.